Hey, Pleasant Valley. I am excited to be here with Aaron and Eileen Lawler in London. They have been missionaries that we've supported for a long time, that we've partnered with in London, and then for many years. And then they were in Ottawa, Canada, where Eileen is from, working with OM for 3 years. And now they have moved back to London, transitioning back to London. They moved back last year. And we want to just, through the beauty of technology, be able to connect with them, see how they're doing, so they can say hi, so you can know just a little update of how they're doing, their ministry, and how we can pray for them. So Aaron and Eileen, say hi to your friends here at Pleasant Valley.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, guys. It's great to be here. Great to catch up and share a little bit. So yeah, as Sammy says, we arrived back in London in August this year. It was interesting to leave a place we've been doing ministry for 3 years during the middle of a epidemic and arrive into London again, even though we knew the city. Everything had changed in many ways, and so just adjusting, how a ministry looks like during COVID, and but it's been excited to see how to rethink all the stuff we've done and how we can re-engage. And again, the people that we minister with are going through the same struggles that we are. So it's been tough. It is about 12 million people in London, and so the numbers are large. Eileen was just saying it's actually the same size the population as both Wisconsin and Minnesota combined. And so with that, there's challenges. There's 1,000 people a day dying, and large numbers. But again, how do we support those people that we work with? Most are refugees. Most of them are often quite isolated, living alone. A lot of the single guys in hostels, so they're actually in quite crowded conditions, often just in a one-room situation. Had the privilege and pleasure to actually engage because of this a lot more with some of the guys. A particular friend of mine, an Iranian guy who sadly lost his job, but because of that, we actually have a lot more time to hang out. Probably twice a week, we spend almost the full days together. It was a week ago Sunday. He came over and helped Nathan and myself. We had a problem with some water pipes on the ground, and spent 6 hours working, and then sat down for the Oasis church service. And we were both exhausted. And he says, "I hope I'm not translating tonight," because he often translates from English into Persian. And so we said a quick prayer, and that the other guy would turn up, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, he arrived and answered the Zoom call like you guys deal with as well. We do church service that way, and so he were rejoicing that he wasn't translated that evening.
And how are you guys doing? How is the family? How are the kids with school and all that stuff moving back into London?
We've transitioned fairly well. I mean, it's just a weird time to transition, but I think we're pretty much settled, and we were fortunately able to get the kids into the school that we wanted them in, and it was going really well. Unfortunately, they haven't been to school since the 18th of December because our schools are now on lockdown, and we don't meet any of the special needs criteria to allow our children to still go to school. So I am now a primary school teacher, which anybody that knows that that's quite humorous. But it's interesting. But really, to be honest with you, it's going well. Our kids had to jump a grade coming back because the Canadian system doesn't work the same as the British system. So they basically missed a year of British education.
Oh, wow.
So they have a lot to catch up on. So the definite positive of this for us is for Jeremiah, especially, because it's more the fundamentals, better reading, better math, stuff like that. Actually working at home, it is better for him because he has one-on-one, longer time to do it if he needs it. So actually we're seeing him moving forward in that, which is great.
Awesome. Definitely COVID has changed many things in how we do ministry, how we approach ministry. Have there been any new opportunities, new ways that the Lord is opening for you to be able to share the gospel and connect with others there?
I don't know who's answering that.
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, we did a lot of big conference work for OM. So often our summers, particularly, we would travel to different places in Europe and be part of the small team that would host conferences of several hundred people, up to 2 weeks long or so. So those things have cut down and stopped, but a lot of that has gone online, and Eileen has been involved in all those new online initiatives.
Yeah, the majority of my role has always been event management for numerous years now, which I love. But of course, now we can't get together in large or small groups. So we have found some interesting ways of doing things. We have found ways of presenting things online. So the event is virtual, but not fully virtual. We've asked in countries where people can get together in smaller groups that they're still getting together. So if they can't get together as 300, but they could get together as 6 groups of 50. And then we're presenting things online, but they're meeting together for worship and they're watching the videos online. And we found, for example, like Teen Street, they would have people from 20 some countries participate and join. But a small group of us were together in Germany this year, putting the online event together and doing the platform and stuff that made it possible. And actually we found 43 countries participated, including countries like Israel, Saudi, Emirates, and countries like that, where we could never get people to come to because they either couldn't get the visas or money was an issue, or you can't get a parent to allow a teenager from a Muslim country that isn't an expat there already to fly to a foreign country to participate in a large Christian conference. But you can get them to be allowed to go to their friend's house.
Okay.
So it all of a sudden opened huge doors to places. We've been able to allow conferences that have happened at one time to be rerun at another time for a smaller group in a different country, because we now have we're still developing the facilities to do that. And then I've also my job, some of it has been given over to training. So I've always worked a little bit with training. I work with our leadership development coaching and a few other areas. And we are really embellishing how our training looks and constantly working on how to better invest in our missionaries. And then we have a thing in OM now where we recognize that it's not necessarily only OMers that are the missionaries, but we work with people from local churches that regularly participate in the ministries we're involved in. And how can we invest in them also and give them the training? So online is allowing that. So all of a sudden people are home more and willing to invest in their ability to make vibrant communities of Jesus followers in their local area, not just attend the church that they're a part of.
Gotcha. That is awesome. That's awesome how the Lord is opening that up. We will love to come alongside you guys and pray for you. Is there any prayer requests that you have that we can just really be intentional about praying for you guys?
Yeah, I think you can really just pray. It's really hard culturally, dealing with people from a Muslim background. The whole friendship and personal levels is really deep. You know, when you greet each other, it's 2 kisses, it's a hug, it's hospitality, it's in the home, it's having people over. So it's been a real tension and struggle there. How do we do that wisely through the situation? We had one of the members' husband passed away. They got 7 kids, and again, just attending a funeral. And how do you engage with that? They were only allowed to have 30. Only 17 people showed up. We were part of that group, and afterwards, embracing and greeting, someone who's grieving, and so we are having to continuously be wise in those situations. Again, just the other week going over. Actually, I'm eating the dates from one of the guys whose house we were at, and we picked up stuff from him at the airport because he couldn't get there. Dropped it off, and again, wants you to come in, wants you to greet you. We're just like, we're trying to be wise. We want to serve you, drop your stuff off, and but it's just a struggle, and people are lonely, and how do you engage with that? And I think, like everybody, calls are great. It's nice, but just longing for time to sit down with people and fellowship again.
I think I would say 2 requests myself. I think one is connection, which is along what Aaron has said, but like you said, working with people from a Middle Eastern background, a relationship, especially because they're refugees or asylum seekers, they have nobody, and giving up the faith they've grown up with, no matter
Mhm.
how, how they played it out, is huge. And so we're thrown into a relationship that often would take 4, 5, 6 years in a normal environment to develop to that level, and is very quickly thrown into a very deep level of connection. And now they're not able to have that. So they've given up one thing, they're still adjusting to another. Even years on, it is just so very different for them. And now that's been taken away from them also. They know they'll get it back someday. They know everybody's still here for them, but the level of connection is just felt deeply right across the congregation. I think that's it's just pretty strong connections that we're trying hard to maintain them, but it's not as simple as it sounds. And then also for work we do outside of Oasis Church Plant with OM directly, again, connection with the colleagues we're working with and how we do that, because again, many of them are not in a country where they know a lot of people yet. Some of them have moved just before the pandemic, or they're singles living alone. And just that level of loss of relationships that so many people are feeling. We also know experiences where people are feeling like, hey, I've really gotten to know myself better, and I've really reached out and spent more time with Jesus. And, you hear the good stories also, but I think levels of connection would be a huge prayer request. I mean, and personally, I think that my children live through the home learning.
Yes.
That'd be nice.
We're all praying for that. Absolutely.
But again, first world problem,
Right. But it's a real thing. I have 3 kids, and definitely we all need a lot of prayer with virtual learning and all that stuff. It's amazing.
I have a whole new appreciation for both teachers and homeschoolers.
Amen. Likewise, very much so.
And I'd like to all have a sanity test.
Yeah. So we will definitely be praying for you guys. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. We are so honored to be able to partner with you. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. And we hope to be able to see you in London sooner than later. So let's pray that God will just get rid of this COVID and we can come see you guys. But I just really appreciate your time, and that we can do this virtually, and we need to do it more often. So thank you very much, and God bless you. We'll be praying for you guys.
Our pleasure. And something we've enjoyed in this process is we are only able to participate at Pleasant Valley when we attend. We come, when we can come every 2 or 3 years for a week or so. But actually, because you've moved online, we have been able to do Sunday service with you more often, which has been really fun for us.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad.
And those of you who know Kathy Martins, she moved back to the States, but she also is able to join the Oasis Church. Almost every Sunday she's there, and she joins online, is able to still connect with some of the people she does. So it's kind of neat to see. And so that whole little community of the Oasis Church it's changed. Some aren't seen so often because they don't have computers or internet. But actually we've seen several new people have joined because of the situation and the change that's taken place. So thanks for your prayers. Really do love and appreciate you guys, your support. Thank you.
Awesome. Sounds good. God bless you guys. We love you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.